Hello, welcome to gusmcdoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series we play through the 16 operations of the German Grand Campaign in Close Combat 3, the Russian Front. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe and share the video. And if you want to show your support with a donation, the links are in the description.
Congratulations to a fellow officer. Your application of strategy and tactics has led to victory for the Wehrmacht. We need commanders like you to lead the way to ultimate victory. Headquarters already has the papers recommending your promotion. Your men also deserve congratulations. They proved their mettle in the face of tough terrain, challenging conditions, and a determined opponent.
In the last episode, von McDowell's Kampfgruppe completed the Grand Campaign, but their success at the Multibrücke over the River Spree still left one map unplayed, the Reichstag map. So, in this episode, we play the Cold War Begins battle. And, because I want to customize the opposing forces, this is also a great opportunity to feature the mission editor. In the map selection screen, you can select the map. We will play the Berlin 2 map, featuring the Reichstag and the Brandenburg Gate. In the scenario info screen, you can choose the date, the number of days, the weather, and the experience level, and add briefing text for both sides. In the map info screen, you can control the respective deployment and victory locations. And specify an opening artillery barrage. In this last stand battle, we want to simulate a mix of reluctant local conscript Landschutz and militia and die-hard political troops. They are led by their commander. Commanders provide leadership on the battlefield. Position commanders so their command radius encompasses the teams you want controlled. Use commanders to lead assaults and anchor defensive positions. The commander is equipped with one MP40 and one grenade. He leads 5 squads of Landschutzen. Militia Landschutzen 1945. Position these low-quality teams behind the front lines. Use them to hold victory locations and free up higher quality units for other duties. Keep a commander near these teams when they come under fire. This team has anti-tank capability. Each squad is equipped with one MP40, 6 Mauser rifles, one Panzerfaust 60, one Panzerfaust 100, and 7 hand grenades. Let's remove the machine gun infantry, as the Wehrmacht is long gone, and the rifle infantry for the same reason. We will, however, retain these curiosities. Turret, 75mm anti-tank Panzer 5D turret. Late in the war, the Germans used tank turrets as fixed position guns. Since the turret can't move to another position, keep a supporting infantry or machine gun team nearby for protection. Use this 7.5cm gun against light and medium tanks. The turret is equipped with one 7.5cm L70 cannon, one Coax MG34, and 2 Walther P38 pistols for the crew. Finally, we will add the political troops. These troops were chosen for their fanatical loyalty to the party rather than tactical acumen. First, in support, anti-tank infantry Raketen Panzerbuchs. Use anti-tank infantry to ambush enemy vehicles and tanks. Aim for any part of a vehicle or light tank. Aim for the side or rear of a medium or heavy tank. Anti-tank infantry can be effective against buildings and anti-tank guns. Anti-tank range 8 to 125 meters. The team is equipped with 1 Panzerschreck, 2 Mauser rifles, and 1 hand grenade. Let's add 2 teams. We will also add a single tank. This is the last stand for the political troops, so we will choose the heavy tank Panzer 6B. Heavy tank Panzer 6B King Tiger. This heavy tank relies on armour and firepower. It even has built-in assault mortars. The Tiger's 8.8cm main gun has one-shot knockout power. Use it in any armour role, reconnaissance in force, infantry support, or anti-tank defence. The Tiger is equipped with Bow MG34, Coaxial MG34, Nahverteidigungswaffe, Smoke Discharger, 8.8cm L71 cannon, and 5 Walther P38 pistols for the crew. Finally, the foot soldiers. Lots of choice. The shock troops Sturmgrenadier 1945 are equipped with 3 MP40, 1 Assault MG42, explosives, 3 German Pistolet Pulemyot Spagina 41, 3 Panzerfaust 60, 1 Panzerfaust 100, 7 hand grenades, and 1 smoke grenade. Now for the Russians. A mix of infantry and tanks should work well for storming the Reichstag. But let's replace the medium mortars with heavy 120mm mortars. And add the heaviest tank we can find. The Guards Joseph Stalin III. Because we want the Russians to win this map. Let's briefly review their weapons. Now to play the scenario. Let's briefly examine the terrain. the Brandenburg Gate to the top left, with the Tiergarten in front, the Reichstag to the bottom left, with the Königsplatz in front, and Charlottenburger to the top right. NKVD Field Report, August 1946. This diary was found during the Battle for Berlin in April 1945 in the basement of an empty hospital amongst a pile of abandoned equipment. It appeared to have fallen unobserved from the pocket of its owner. At the hospital entrance, a number of armoured vehicles were lined up in parade formation but sabotaged beyond repair. Engines, firing pins, gun sights, radios, all completely destroyed, and ammunition thrown in the nearby river. The author of the diary remains unknown. However, it may have belonged to a shadowy figure based in West Berlin and known in veteran circles only as the Major. His identity is unknown. However, field agents and informants report that he is mostly involved in veteran welfare and does not appear to be politically active against the revolution. Recommendation: send report and diary to the archive for filing. Continue to monitor the Major. No further action. Customarily, at this point, we come up with a plan. But this is a last stand by the fanatical political diehards, and thinking is not their strong suit. So, quick review of the positions and straight into the battle. The turrets are dug into the soil of the Tiergarten. The political troops are holding out in the Reichstag in simple linear formation. And the Landschütze in the rear, forced to participate under threat of summary execution, are just waiting for a safe moment to run away and reunite with their families. And so we begin. The Soviet artillery barrage begins. A turret is knocked out. And the second. The crew are killed. Soviet infantry in the Königsplatz. The Reichstag defenders open up. Soviet tanks coming from the direction of the Kroll Opera. Soviet infantry charge on the right flank. The Landschütz soldiers do not want to be here. Once the Reichstag falls, they will leave as fast as possible. The Soviet charge across open ground, without smoke or heavy tank or mortar fire, is working out as you would expect. A single Josef Stalin III heavy tank advances to take the Tiergarten. The King Tiger lies in wait. And immobilizes the tank. The Soviet tank swings around its turret and knocks out the King Tiger.
Sie haben unsere Panzer zerstört. Wir müssen uns außer Reichweite. Ziel außer Reichweite.
The crew run to safety.
Feldwebel! Das Blut! Ah! Stellungswechsel ausgeführt. Находимся под обстрелом. Ziel außer Reichweite.
Another frontal assault over open ground by Soviet infantry. Ends as expected.
Stellungswechsel ausgeführt. Nicht wie raus hier!
The Command T-34 advances. But otherwise, the Soviet heavy tanks are hanging back.
Das Blut!
The Soviet attack seems to have stalled. The King Tiger cooks off. The Landschützer await their chance. Once the Reichstag is overrun,
Мы пропали!
the T-34 has taken Charlottenburger. A third attempt by Soviet infantry. The defenders of the Reichstag hold their fire.
Truppe umgruppiert.
Soviet tanks now move towards the Königsplatz.
Es ist aus mit uns!
The third wave is defeated.
Ich halt's nicht mehr aus!
Tank and machine gun fire hits the Reichstag. The Soviets would have done better to coordinate this with their infantry assaults.
Ziel außer Reichweite! Nichts wie raus hier! sind in der Klemme! Nichts wie raus hier! Vernichtet. Rechts!
A fourth wave of Soviet infantry advance. Nothing succeeds like a piecemeal attack. But at least this wave has direct fire support from heavy tanks. The defenders reinforce their left flank. 3 separate groups of infantry.
Ziel außer Reichweite! Fogo! Ziel außer Reichweite!
The Soviet tank advances over the top of the infantry, including the wounded from the previous attack.
Wir haben zu tun! Seine Panzerung ist zu stark!
The Panzerschreck aims at the advancing Joseph Stalin III tank. Hit! And the tank is immobilized. Another hit, and the Soviet tank is destroyed. The Panzerschreck team withdraws. Another Panzerschreck strike hits and destroys the Command T-34 85mm. Despite the loss of tanks, Soviet infantry are now on the very steps of the Reichstag.
Находимся под обстрелом.
The T-34 crew join in the attack. The Soviet attack has collapsed on the left and faltered in the centre, but they still have strong forces on the right and in depth. The first of the political troops abandons his deeply held convictions and runs away to save his own life. The Panzerschreck squad moves to the left flank to target the immobilized Joseph Stalin III tank. The Soviets have not made it through the Brandenburg Gate.
Nicht wie raus hier!
The Landschutz commander chides the political troops in the tank crew. Shouldn't you be at the front line with your comrades, he asks. Shamed, the tank crew move up to the Reichstag, ready to make a last stand.
Das Blut! Stellungswechsel ausgeführt. In Deckung! Truppe umgruppiert. Ziel außer Reichweite. Ziel außer Reichweite. Nicht wie raus hier!
The Soviet tanks keep their distance from the Panzerschrecks in the Reichstag.
Ein fliegendes Geschoss!
The 2nd Panzerschreck team now go hunting, moving to within range of the immobilised tank.
voll runter! Peter! Unsere Männer geraten in Panik! Vernichtet! Wir ergeben uns!
The first Panzerschreck team is eliminated. The tank crew abandon all principle and surrender to save their own lives.
Vernichtet!
The remaining defenders of the Reichstag are few and hard pressed.
Schmeißt euch hin! Ein fliegendes Geschoss! Trupp verloren!
The second Panzerschreck team is eliminated.
Ah!
The right flank has collapsed, there is no left flank, and the centre is about to fall.
Das Blut!
Only a handful of stubborn fanatics remain.
Es ist aus mit uns!
Soviet troops capture the Reichstag. No more firing, and a red flag flies over the building. The Landschützer see their chance to escape and find their families.
Wir verlassen das Kampfgebiet. Das Blut! Wir verlassen das Kampfgebiet. Wir brechen Kontakt ab. Wir verlassen das Kampfgebiet. Wir brechen Kontakt ab. Wir verlassen das Kampfgebiet. Das Blut!
The political troops counterattack to recapture the Reichstag.
Gebiet gesichert. Kamerad! Gebiet gesichert. Kamerad! Nicht schießen! Kamerad! Truppensicherheit. Trupp abgezogen. Truppensicherheit.
But instead surrender.
Truppensicherheit abgezogen.
One last fanatic remains.
Nicht schießen!
Then he too surrenders. The captives are marched down the steps of the Reichstag and off to an unknown fate. And so, one totalitarian regime replaces another, ending the most destructive conflict in human history.
Trupp abgezogen.
Decisive defeat. The battle ended because all German forces were destroyed or routed. The Russians gained control of some victory locations. German losses were 12 killed, 23 wounded, 7 prisoners, and 1 tank destroyed, along with 2 emplaced tank turrets. Russian losses were 18 killed, 15 wounded, 2 tanks destroyed, and 1 damaged. In a way, everyone lost. Well, that was the last map in Close Combat 3, the Russian front. In the next series, we will look at Operation Barbarossa in the Eastern Front expansion to the game Firefight. And then, the Allies will fight a defensive operation in Close Combat 4, Battle of the Bulge. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next series.